I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and this is my video blog. Well, we've seen the front 8 holes, and Rick, here we are on the back 9. How does the front 9 feel thus far?
It's pretty windy, and you're going to see the players managing the wind. A lot of tough holes, and on to the back 9.
All right, that's Ricky Wysocki. Let's move to the back. And again, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, and joined with me is, in fact, Paul Ulibarri. We listened to Paul on the front 9. Thanks so much for helping out. We got Big Germ from a new tee here on hole 10.
Yeah, this is another change that they made this year to the course. It used to be a dogleg right up to the castle hole, famously known as the castle hole, and they switched it out, pushed this fairway a little further back. Kind of a similar hole, but yeah, I guess it's just new to the course. So
yeah, plays to a different basket position. Again, we're not going to see the famous castle placement that we've seen, and there was a good discussion with Paul McBeth and Jeremy Koling again as to if this is really a true par 4. Paul says he's been up there putting at this from 60 feet, so I feel like if he gets a really good move on it, some of our top players could have eagle looks.
Sure, you see Zach make a really great up shot from down to the left, and Ricky kind of saws it off a little bit right, but I'm sure he'll have a putt. And here's a eagle look right here from Paul. So
yeah, long one at that, but he wasn't even sure if he had the right angle on it, and he still has a long look at eagle. This is Wysocki for birdie.
Yeah, and that's not an easy putt. It's windy up there, and he makes good, but
yeah, we're coming into a little bit more open area of the course, if you can really say that at Maple Hill. This hole and the next hole, at least where the tee shot is on the next hole, a little bit more air than we're used to seeing versus the tight wooded gaps.
Yeah, and this hole's actually probably playing the easiest par 4 on the course. So we see all birdies from the feature card here.
Paul, we talked about a relatively slow start on the front 9, and here we are on the back 9, 4 birdies on the very first hole, and now we move on to a nearly 800-foot, slightly downhill shot. You're playing this for a 3 all day, though.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one that you want to get. Big fairway. It allows you to really unleash and get as far of a drive as you can. I think the play is to go a little left, kind of where Zach's going, so that you have an easier hyzer approach into the green. But you'll see the people with the distance really try to get after it and have a shorter shot in. And really the only mistake you can make here is getting behind one of those Christmas trees. And
raw power certainly can help with that. A player like myself, I don't think I'm driving past those Christmas trees, which puts a whole new element of challenge into it. And these guys are making it look easy is really what I'm trying to say. He was a little bit pinched up against one of the final trees.
But he makes a great approach right there. That's a great approach, being pinched like you said. And like I said earlier, well, you don't really see a lot of people go over the top, but if you have the power, it's definitely a good play because you're almost guaranteed a look.
Well, and McBeth very unpleased with that shot. And I think that was that a screeching bandit? I don't know what that was out there. I think that was a Big Germ.
Yeah, Germ. Just catching the outside of the tree. That was probably for most people wouldn't have taken the sidearm approach, but Big Germ being probably has the best sidearm in the game, he chooses it.
And that's one way to birdie a hole. You screw up your approach shot, and then you just throw one in from 75 feet.
Yeah, you just chuck it over the trees, don't care where it lands, and just make it.
Him and Paul and Big Germ were talking about how Paul would have converted back on 9, and Germ says, okay, well, with that putt, I guess you back that up. That maybe you could have. So a couple birdies, couple pars. We're moving on to 12. Plenty of blue on that screen, and we talked about it earlier. Hole 6, Zach outright takes the box, and here he is on hole number 12, taking the box.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting together a solid round here. Anything under par to this point, you're happy. The course was playing very difficult yesterday. Not the typical low opening round scores that you'd normally see. And so it's good to see him, first featured card coming out and playing with the best players in the world, really.
Yeah, he's certainly hanging in there, which is very impressive.
And this looks like a great drive from Big Germ. And
It really was. He gives himself the little fist pump, and I can't tell you how impressive this shot really was. I'm glad I got behind there, but he had such a tiny gap to hit. I couldn't even get in position for it, and he puts it within 15 feet of the pin. And Zach, he lets an opportunity go there.
And Germ just has a jump putt approach on this. I mean, for the viewers at home, that drive probably went 600 feet.
Yeah.
Uphill, cresting a hill is incredible.
And McBeth is looking at a birdie here. He asks, why am I missing everything after he just got done canning the 75-footer? But there's a solid comeback. There's a little bit of elevation to that. You see him walk up. I wanted to show you guys just that was no tap in. So he's going to make that. He's going to take the par. Zach's trying to save his par at this point, the par 4. And really, I would say Zach's first real mistake of this round.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't have good footing. Probably he really took his time. He knew it was a tough putt, and he just didn't convert, and that happens to everybody.
And the downhill hole number 13. Did they clear some trees out of here?
It kind of looks a little bit more open on the left. I think there were some bushes and some Christmas trees that probably some happy families got for last Christmas. But, I mean, this is just a beautiful hole, straight downhill. I feel like someday somebody's going to ace this one and catch it on film.
I feel like I've been behind the basket maybe 6-7 years ago. And McBeth, you're calling the ace here.
Oh, wow.
He hits a late tree and almost then kicks into the basket.
And it looks like Zach just turns it over a little bit, and that's really kind of a normal mistake for that hole, is just pulling it a little bit, especially with the wind pushing you from left to right. And he puts it in the circle. It looks like McBeth's kind of laughing at him, though, in the background.
I think that was Big Germ probably talking something stupid.
They're always goofing off. It's good to see them all.
Oh, yes. Yes!
No, yes.
I don't know. That sounds like, well, he willed that one in, I guess. And there's a sweet par save by Zach. He had to work for that. This is McBeth for a birdie just past the basket.
Yeah, it was good to see Zach make that one, especially after missing the short one on the previous hole. Kind of gets him back in the game, and McBeth making good on his putt there. Germ with a nice 60-footer.
And we've got to say, obviously, one of the most beautiful holes, as if they aren't all amazing holes out here, but hole 14, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a great-looking hole, and, you know, this one really just, the play is just to feed it right at the basket and try to scoot it up on that hillside, leave yourself about a 30-footer, which is, it's a lot to ask for to make a 30-footer coming back at that basket position.
And Wysocki with plenty of power. It's just a matter of where is it going to stop, as you said. When you're pushing to the left side, you hear the wind there.
Yeah, I think a great play here is actually just trying to make it, just aiming right at the basket, and if you miss, it'll skip left onto that hillside. And actually, Philo made good on an ace during this round. So
he did, and
shout out to
unfortunately,
him.
yeah, not caught on tape or filmed by anyone, but Philo with the ace here on hole 14. This is Ricky with a death putt.
Yeah, just a daunting look right here. I mean, that, 5 feet behind the basket, so it'll be, and he just centers it.
No big deal.
And McBeth with pretty much the same putt.
Yeah, he's about 5 feet in front of Ricky, and he also converts. So very impressive putting, and even better concentration, really. So we're going to see a couple tap-ins, and
a
Mark
swimmer
Vibram
grabbing.
out in the Yeah, big shout out on previous hole. Mark Vibram out in the water retrieving hundreds of discs as we move over here to 15.
Paul catches the last tree that you have to miss, and this is A new look for Ricky throwing the sidearm up the gut. I haven't seen him do that in previous years, but
Yeah,
leaves
kind of a
himself about-
stand-up.
Yep.
Yeah, and Big Germ, you know, looking to try the exact same.
Go in the hole.
Yeah, that bandit. Screaming banshee out there, I should say. A bandit.
And then they're struggling a little bit on this hole. That's a tight gap, but this is definitely one that you want to get.
Yeah, we've seen a few different iterations of this hole. It's really changed up. I think I've seen 5 or 6 different looks of this hole over the last 7 or 8 years. And McBeth now struggling here, trying to find the par, and he's deep.
Yeah, this one's actually pretty easy to mess up. You hit early, and you can kick left or right, and then it's a super hard upshot, as you see. Even McBeth, one of the best scramblers in the world, struggling on this hole. Get in there.
Oh, I see why everybody loves the mock axe now. All right, it catches everything. Just got to throw it near the basket as Zach squeaks that one in.
McBeth having to make a circle's edge putt for bogey.
Yeah. So these guys are working here on hole 15, I think would be the best way to put it. I've actually seen, 3 out of 4 birdies on this hole in the past. I think I maybe even have seen a few star frames, but that's not the case here today. And hole 16, you just have to pipe this one.
Yeah, there's no room for an errant tee shot on this one. You have OB left, trees everywhere, and Jim begging to the disc golf gods to let him through.
And he gets a pretty good kick there. You definitely, as you said, you don't want to kick left and find the OB.
And you'll even see people take this right gap of right of that first tree to try to get through. And that's a great drive from Zach right there to the opening. 3 on this hole is almost birdie. Oh, and that was almost absolutely perfect. But he'll still leave himself probably a makeable McBeth 80-footer.
He's going to have an opportunity. A great approach shot there by Big German. This is McBeth for 2. Just not quite dialed in. Now we're on this side of the course, on the bottom of the hill, and you're not seeing as much wind. The flags are, and then all of a sudden they pick up. It just shows how crazy it can be out there.
Yep, good putt by Rick. Good soft comeback from Zach. And I think that's going to be all pars on the hole.
Yeah, they were, I think Rick got the birdie, but the rest we'll tap in and we'll go from there. And this hole, I'll be first to admit, that's Wysocki's who came in. You're standing at the catch zone, and without a throw, this one's really difficult to try and gauge as we see Koling's come over. Not quite enough power there. And in between there, I think we saw Zach's throw, which he threw a dark disc, and I never saw at any point until it landed. And then McBeth's last to tee, and wow. I mean, really,
yeah, perfect.
That's just about perfect. A little higher up, and it might have slid down the tunnel, but that's a nearly perfect drive.
Yeah, and Zach's coming in. A great approach, really, to even give himself a look from being back in the pines is a great shot. And Germ, same thing. Makes the gap, gets a great kick. I mean, he's going to be right there for birdie.
And McBeth has really just like a long jump putt, and he puts a little too much mustard on it.
Yeah, he's going to have to earn that one.
Wysocki's looking at circle's edge. Slipping right through the chains. It came in a little low.
Yeah, no raptor legs on that one.
No. He got his raptor arm out, though, to try and scoop that mini up. And McBeth very frustrated. solid birdie there by Zach.
Yeah, Zach's just putting together a real solid round here. So is Germ. You know, the name of the game on this course is don't take bogeys. If you can even par and sneak a couple birdies in there, it doesn't have to be pretty, and you'll come out with a solid score like you see Germ doing this round.
Well, and what's funny is we're going to see the scores as we move on to 18. It doesn't seem like Ricky's tearing it up, but he's quietly putting together a good round. And we'll move to 18. So we've got Wysocki at 6 under, we've got Big Germ at 5, and here is the overhand, just like we saw on hole 9. Problem is, it's almost impossible to follow with a camera, but it's off to that left side, and he really didn't like the kick that he got. And I wasn't expecting a big turnover here. I was thinking this shot was going to go straight up the middle. I'll admit I didn't follow it up into the air by Zach.
That's surprising to see Germ go overhand, especially with the sidearm game that he has. I feel like he could just put it in position, but he's won the tournament before, so I can't question his theories. And Ricky just throws absolute perfect drive up there. He might have some pine trees to deal with, but that looked pretty good.
Both Ricky and McBeth kind of going a lower approach, which is, again, why Zach's threw me off so much. And Big Germ had a contemplation with his caddy there as to if he should try to get it onto the green, and he begrudgingly finally just said, fine, I'll lay up. But he did not want to. He wanted to go for the green from there.
And Zach lays up also. McBeth has a fairly straight approach here. And he's going to make birdie.
He turned to me and said, well, if they only knew I was running it. He wasn't happy with his shot, actually, but he's right there for the birdie.
Yeah, and there's Ricky going to get another birdie and put together a really good round. 53, I believe. That's going to be leading the tournament, I believe. And
it's definitely one of the hottest rounds out there. Didn't feel like it.
Yeah,
but again, if Ricky's not shooting 18 under, sometimes it feels like he's not loving it. So it was a pleasure to watch. It was a pleasure to film. It was kind of a last-second decision to run out there. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. More importantly, I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Thanks to Paul here for joining me. And we're looking forward to a great week of live. You're not going to see too much more post-production out of myself. But Vibram Open 2017 Disc Golf Pro Tour. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Paul.
See you guys.